welcome to the show. I see SRC Baker claims that they would miss the Zoom call for this particular stream. It is actually a very interesting topic, the one of the pronouns and having the police arrest people for misgendering. Um, I have to say, the woke ideology is absolutely genius. Like whomever were the academics that wrote this, like they were brilliant people. In the sense that they weren't stupid, like they were just evil, but absolutely brilliant. See, most ideologies that are authoritarian and they want to social engineer society, uh, they need to make sure that the people allied with them are genuinely with them. And they need to make it extremely difficult for people that resist to escape persecution. And so, by forcing individuals to use the pronouns, they have to basically like pledge allegiance to the ideology. The moment you use the pronouns, you subconsciously admit that you're with the progressives and that basically they conquered you, you know? Cause like here's the thing: if you're a person that sees a man saying that they're a woman, and like that's it, it's like no effort in order to transition. They're not taking hormones. They're not doing anything, but they just say the magic word. It's like I'm a woman, and you have to play along now. Like you have to use the pronouns, or else in some societies you can actually end up arrested, like we're going to see in a video with Britain. And so the reason they're doing this is because if you're not a progressive, or even worse, if you're fighting against the progressives, by not using the pronouns, you're outing yourself as another, and it creates cohesion amongst the progressives. Like whether you're at the workplace or at the university, um, it unites people in their hatred to the other, right? So like persecuting individuals is a very fun and enjoyable group activity, and so it makes sure that the progressives stay united in fighting against the bigots. So if you think about it, pronouns are also something that you can't really avoid in language, like they usually come up, and so it's pretty much like a loyalty test every single time a trans person is in the conversation. Also, take into account that you like even if you are to say that pronouns are about respect, usually like the person you're talking about with he she is probably not even in the conversation. Like it's probably not even in the room. Like you're talking above them, right? Because like if they're in the room, you'd say their name. And so, like, it's not about respecting trans people, but it's basically about showing that you are loyal to the progressive ideology, that you read it, you internalized it, and you're willing to express it. JDA79, thank you for becoming a member. This level says I'm your boss. As your boss is just, I want to say, keep up the great work. Thank you, I appreciate it. Man, something's really fucked up with the algorithm on YouTube. Like, I generally don't know what is going on, but I usually am getting lower and lower viewers lately. Which is interesting, because, like, I'm not in any controversy or whatever, but usually when I start the stream, I get, like, 100 viewers. Now I'm getting 36. And then I get messages from people. It's like, V, I haven't been notified because you start when you started the stream, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'll probably have to set up my streams earlier in advance. I'll probably do it for tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, we're streaming with Amalgamite. It's going to be a fun stream. And after that, I'm going to go to the Arshcast in order to bitch and complain about the Husband Hotel. In the meantime, Rasmus, thank you for the 20 DKKs. One smile buyers you more. Well, you get a very small one. SRC Maker, here's a good question that may feel like I'm putting you on the spot. So, V, when you cover trans topics, do you ever pause because of me? No, absolutely not. I mean, here's the thing with trans people. It's on a context basis. Like, I will use the pronouns if I actually like the individual and if I want to show them respect or if I want to be polite. But I'm not going to use pronouns because people force me. And the other way around. Like, if I genuinely like a trans person as a friend, and someone tells me it's like, no, well, that's a man. It's like, yeah, I know it's a man. Yeah, and they probably know they're a man as well, but it's just polite. So no, I'm not the type of person that allows myself to be manipulated by others. Like, if I want to use the pronouns, I use them. If I don't want to, I don't. That's the whole point, right? Like, I want freedom. I don't want to be constrained by the box. Yeah, it's the daylight savings. It kind of messed with my stream schedule. Do you watch the Spiffig Brits video about algorithmic audience growing for live streaming? No, I haven't. Should I? Leave me a message on a DM or on Discord. I wanna see what's it about. It's like respect has to be earned. Pretty much, yeah. Like, look, there's like different types of trans people. Usually the ones that really cause problems are the non-binary individuals, the one that's her, the activists, and it's how you behave towards me that decides if I'm going to use the pronouns or not. I use pronouns for Blair White. I won't use pronouns for Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah, pretty much. No, I agree with that take. That's respectable. I already could tell that from your commentary on trans topics, which, by the way, I like that you just speak your mind. I wouldn't have it any other way. But that's also interesting, right? Like, imagine you're a trans person and you're going to the workplace and you're noticing that people are only using the pronouns because they're afraid. And it's not like they're afraid of you, they're afraid of HR. Is that, like, genuinely a nice place where you want to work? I mean, you have to be a psychopath to enjoy terrorizing people like that. I can't, no, seriously, like, I can't imagine. Let's say I were to go in a place where there's religious people. And they generally believe in Christians, they're, you know, very pious. And because I'm there, they're told by HR, like, they're not allowed to pray, they're not allowed to cross themselves, they're not allowed to mention God. And I go to the workplace and I see that they're uncomfortable. And they're absolutely terrorized because I'm there. And it's like, well, would that actually be a nice place to work? Like, is that a healthy work environment? Would I even be able to make friends if that's the case? Looking forward to seeing Amalgamite tomorrow. Well, thank you, Sergeant Gunnery. You will see Amalgamite tomorrow. Okay, so let's look at the let's look at the British controversy. It went viral on the Twitter, and I managed to save it. Okay, so as you can see, British police. Hold on, let me make sure that you can see it first, because right now you can't. Okay, now you can. British police arrives at the teacher's home for the second time to arrest him for refusing to call a student they. This is another thing, you know, they keep saying that pronouns are important, right? So, like, he, him, she, her, but now it's like they, them. Come on. Like, this is like going out of their way to make sure that people will comply with the ideology, right? Like I know a lot of people that will say she, her, but they will never say they, them. It just sounds wrong, you know? It sounds so forced. And a lot of people like to draw the line there. Not to mention the zir, her, and the other nonsense. But anyway, right, let's listen to it.
Enoch, if he's here, please. Enoch is...
Look at these chuckleheads. The thing that I love the most about British police, they don't really look intimidating, right? Like, the uniforms are kind of mad. Like, American police actually look pretty fucking wild. These guys, they look like soy boys, you know, like sent from the HR. But they never said, like, one. Did you notice that? Like in Romania, there are, like, they're trying to save resources. Like, if you didn't know, the police department, they don't have infinite money. They don't have infinite wealth, right? And so there's always something going on. And they have to decide where to intervene. And so, like, if it's a serious crime, they may send like 4 or 6 individuals. But if it's like a house call or some shit like this, it's like an old man, a professor, misgender someone, they're going to send 1 or 2 cops. But in the United Kingdom, if you misgender someone, you get like 3, 4, sometimes 6. And like, why though? And you can say, well, it's because like they're not allowed to have guns. Well, okay, fine, they're not allowed to have guns, but like in my country, they don't have guns either, and they don't send like 12 police officers to a guy that did a misgender. You know, like what happens with the other crime? Do they actually have so many police officers that they can spare? Like some cheeky little shit misgender someone on internet, and you have like 4 people. Do you know how expensive that is? Like, first of all, you need 2 cars. They cost gas and repairs. The police officers, all of them have wages. Like, they're paid by the hour by the taxpayer, and you're wasting that time instead of like separating them and be like, okay, well, you know, misgendering, very serious. We're going to send 1 or 2 officers, and the rest, you know, they go to the home invasion or the home burglary or whatever. But yeah, and it's like, I'm looking at their faces. They don't want to be here either. Like, even they understand how shitty this is. It's like you're going to the house of an old man to terrorize him over something that wouldn't have been a problem 10 years ago.
entitled to his religious belief. And it's really shameful that you're here. You know, he has a constitutional right. We all have to profess and practice our belief. And that's being denied, my son. And that's why you're here, really.
We're here under the instructions of the High Court. That's right.
Yeah, you know, people say, oh, well, it's just following orders is not an excuse and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. It's not really about that. Like, someone needs to be a police officer so that the streets don't get overflooded with crime, right? Like, it's still a job. And it's not like you can... I mean, you can say no, and then you get fired, right? And someone else does it. And then you actually have, like, unironic leftists that do believe that pronouns have to be respected, and they will take the job. And then they will not only do that, but they will just start applying the progressive values. To be like these cops, they generally, like, don't want to be there, but if it's a court order, it's a court order, right? Like, what can you do? Like, if... I'm pretty sure that if you're a police officer, like, you will get court orders and you will be sent to do things that you don't want to do. But they have to be done, right? Like, a judge signed it. It's the law. It is what it is. I can definitely tell that they're not happy about this. They're definitely not excited of coming over in the middle of the night. This is another thing. Like, why is it the middle of the night? In order to go to this old man's place.
We were here because there's an order of commitment for Enoch. That's the reason.
From
Now, from the High Court, from a judge, Chief Justice. Yep, that's basically who's informed us that there's an order of commitment, so that's why we're here.
yeah, a judge that refuses to honor our constitution.
Okay.
Yeah, and that refuses to acknowledge the core issue that my son was commanded to call a boy a girl. He was commanded. That's where this is the root of this matter. To use a they pronoun for a boy, which as a Christian he couldn't do. He has a Christian belief. That judge refuses to acknowledge what it's about. This is going on.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed is that they actually feel uncomfortable. At least, like, watching this, I don't think they want to be there. I don't think, like, they enjoy this interaction. Like, notice how they're not trying to argue, right? They're not like the leftist cops from London. I think, like, this is Ireland. And they're not basically outrageous, like, oh, you're a bigot. Oh, well, your boy should learn some manners. Blah, blah, blah. No, they're very upset just by looking at their faces. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
For 3 years, and we're back again now to the same thing. refusal to acknowledge that he was commanded to do something that was against his religious belief, and that's really all. That is the situation. That's what it's about.
Do you know where he is?
That's all I have to say about it. He is entitled to his Christian belief. He's entitled to his constitutional right, and that's fair, and that should be for everybody.
Okay, I'm just asking a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you know where he is, could you let us know? Or any
I've
details?
said all I'm going to say to you.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Four of you there.
4 million now.
No crime to deal with, no
Yeah.
tap of arm.
No crime.
No drugs or anything like that, no to deal with.
Our country is a very sad state.
This is private property now, you're on. Just want to remind the four of you there. You have to guard the van there as well.
Big guard the van now,
Yeah.
4 men.
Four guard in here.
And on the street,
Lane side.
yes.
All because Enoch Burke wouldn't call a boy a girl.
This is our Gardaí now, and the streets are full of drugs and crime, and yet we have
Yeah. I actually looked at this case. It's a little bit more complicated. It's not that he misgendered, that's the problem. Is that he was told, I think, like to stop going to that school, and he kept going, and that was the issue. Now, I did look at the law in Britain, and apparently recently, this is interesting, like the Supreme Court of the UK said that misgendering can be fine, but now it's depending on how you do it. And so if you misgender a trans person once, like, that's okay, but it's the tone of voice when you do it, and if you do it consistently. And it's also about power dynamics. So, like, if you're the teacher and the other person is a student and you misgender them, like, that's not fine. Or if you're the boss and they're the employee. Or if you're causing a toxic workplace environment. And, it's basically, like, really ambiguous to the point where it's like, no, just say the pronouns, bigot, because otherwise you may end up with 4 police officers at your door. This is fucking insane. Even at the highest of the gender war in the United States a few years ago, the few teachers who refused to use they, them, or neo pronouns got either just reprimanded, moved to an administration position, or fired, or worse. Yeah. Americans don't understand how lucky they are because they have the Constitution, which guarantees free speech. But in other places, especially like the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada even, yeah, it's really bad. and I feel like you can notice that it's mostly the Anglosphere that's batshit insane over this. And there were like students in the US that also wanted to remove the First Amendment specifically because of things like this. If America didn't have the First Amendment, you'd probably have states that would be worse than the United Kingdom. And again, you can look at the Anglosphere, and without exception, like all of them are batshit insane over this and arresting people. And I think like New Zealand, right? Like New Zealand is probably the only one that's different. It's got like its different sets of insanity, but I haven't heard like people getting arrested for misgendering there. I did hear about people smuggling food in New Zealand during COVID, so that did happen. Didn't Ireland manage to secede from the United Kingdom, or was it never a part of it in the first place? I don't know British history yet. Like, I'll probably read it. Right now I'm studying the French Revolution, and once I finish with that, maybe I'll look a little bit into the UK. By the way, the whole thing with like say the pronouns, the compelled speech, that exists apparently in most authoritarian brainwashing regimes. So like brainwashing in the sense that everything you do is false, we're on the right side of history, this is how you need to frame things. During the French Revolution, they forced people to say citizen. And so if you had an aristocrat or you had a priest or whatever, you were supposed to say citizen name. You weren't supposed to say father. You weren't supposed to say Your Highness. You weren't supposed to, right? And it was like really insulting. Like the guy that was in charge of everything, like Robespierre. It was like citizen Robespierre, right? And it created like the word citizen to have like this dreadful aura. Like everyone knew it's like, dude, you're above citizen. Like you're the one in charge. But it's like, no, it's citizen. During communism, it was Tovarish. So like you're supposed to say Tovarish to everyone or comrade. And now it's the pronouns, right? Like all these regimes, like they try to force you, to compel you to say certain things that you know are wrong. And it's a test of loyalty. Like if you don't say it, then you're sus. Basically, we ended state school in my town because every kid is homeschooling together at a school. We will not make it private school because of all the bullshit rules they will force on you. Yeah, the bureaucratization and everything. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that the whole education system should actually be reviewed. Because, like, we just inherited the same education system that existed during the Industrial Revolution, which is to make good factory workers, but nobody actually used the scientific method to figure out, hold on a little bit, like, is this education in the era where people have access to internet and AI, is it still necessary? Can we not simplify it? Do kids really have to spend 8 hours in school? Do they really have to study for 12 years? That's another thing, you know, like, this is the most major grift of all. Why is education taking, okay, so you have like 12 years in school, right? And then you also have like 4 more years in university. Why are 16 years, like more than a decade and a half of a person's life spent on quote unquote education? And most people come out dumber than they began when entering the system. Anyway, let me talk about something else. Look at the education. Look at Oxford, right? I just want to show you, and this actually costs the taxpayer money. And not only that, like entire generations of people spend more than a decade trapped into this industrial education system, only to produce things like this.
I might just say that I understand there are plenty of people in this room who don't agree with us, who don't like us. But this esteemed establishment is meant to be a bastion of free speech, discussion, and debate. And this example...
Yeah, no. Like, you're in Oxford. There's no way, no. Like, this is literally where the censorship is coming from. You're in the middle of the gutter and you're expecting to say that this is a place of where cleanliness should happen. No.
Is not any of those things. And I urge all of you, I'm here to tell you my side of an argument. I also attended this university. I was a student here, and I understand that part of the experience of being a student is to be challenged by thoughts and facts and information that you may not agree with or you may not like. But to shout like that, to abuse a speaker who is being respectful and giving you their side of an argument is not the way to achieve better knowledge or understanding of anything. I will give all of the proposition speakers their dues.
Yeah, I mean, there's a disconnect between what a university should be and what a university actually is. And it's kind of funny because the university is pretty much what you saw, you know, people screaming and shouting and acting like monkeys when they hear an opinion they don't like. But they want to be treated as if the university actually did promote critical thinking and rigorous debates and academic excellence, right? So they want the prestige of the old while behaving like monkeys that have gotten upset because they saw something which bothers them, you know? And it's like the eyes bulging out, veins on their neck being exposed. To be honest though, like, it's not really their fault, because it's brainwashing. It's little brainwashing that's done by the teachers. So I do feel bad for these people, to be honest. And I do feel even worse for their parents. Like, imagine sending your kid to a university like this, and you're spending tens of thousands of dollars, and you're probably spending years of your life saving money and living far worse off than you could actually afford, only to have your kid being indoctrinated. And coming home and raging at mom and dad because they're capitalist pigs. Looks like a Matt Walsh impersonator. I actually thought it's Matt Walsh, yeah. Have you seen the people at Oxford? Their main debater is a big dummy with dreads that celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. Well, as I mentioned, you know, like all of the censorship comes from Oxford. In the United Kingdom, most of the censorship industrial complex has its roots in Oxford, so I'm not surprised. Hello, Martiano. 12, 13 years of brainwashing, and then advanced brainwashing in college. Ugh. I don't know. To me, education was about making sure that some teachers have a job. Like, for instance, in Romania, we had the religion class. Religion class in school. So basically, it was one of those things that literally everyone hated. It's not that we weren't religious or that we were atheists. We just wanted to go home. Like, religion was usually the subject, the class that was at the end of the day, right? So you had, like, math, geography, chemistry. So, like, after 7 hours, like, the 8th one would be religion. Everyone just wanted to go home. Everyone was tired. And there were, like, the conversations. It's like, why do we have religion? And especially it was complicated because, like, sometimes there was a Catholic in it there, or there was a Protestant. And they were like, yeah, I'm religious, but I'm not your religion. And so they had to, like, file complaints and go to the school board and get an exemption, whatever. But the idea was, like, why do we need religion? It's like, I already go to church with my parents, you know? I already got communion. My priest said that I'm holy. Leave me the fuck alone. And the answer was, well, yeah, but, like, the teacher needs to have a job. And that's the mentality for a lot of subjects. It's like, well, you can't remove religion because then you fire the teacher and it would be sad. Religion class was it the morning time of school? I mean, it depends, right? Like, obviously the teacher had 8 hours a day. For us, it was always the last one. It doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, it was just another subject in a list that was already overflowing with bullshit shit that we never got to use. The thing that really pissed me off, oh my god, like I remember how annoyed I was. So the grade that you got in high school actually mattered to enter university. And usually religious teachers, they had the common sense of passing everyone with A+. Like, they wouldn't actually start listening to students and blah, blah. And my fucking god, like, I got a puritanical Protestant when I went to high school. And he actually gave me a C- for not reading the Bible. And I think, like, that's when I became an atheist, because I actually did start to read the Bible after that. And there were some inconsistencies that I didn't like. But that's a story for another time. Keep in mind, the only reason the Orthodox religion is the majority was because the communist regime arrested and disappeared the other ones. No, it depends. Like, if you're in Eastern Europe, Orthodox religion was always the main one. It is true that there is a resurgence in religion after the communists arrested, and they actually did arrest Orthodox priests and nuns. But I wouldn't say like they targeted the other ones more. No, they targeted everyone that was religious because it was the intelligentsia at the time. Like, they were the only ones that could make counter communist arguments. So they didn't really like that. I had the church close to the school that offered breakfast once a week. And a lot of kids would show up, eat the breakfast, and just talk together since the tables were closed. No sermons or anything. Education should be delayed until a child is 8 or 10. And should end after middle school. Yeah, I think like education should be 8 classes. That's it. Like, sorry, 8 years. And that's already a lot. But once a kid knows how to read and write, they should be able to know how to use the internet, and they should be able to educate themselves. I mean, right now, there are so many tutorials on YouTube. Like, you can actually learn how to code from zero. You can learn different languages. It's so much easier to learn now. You don't even need a teacher. The cool thing would be, and this is how I would do it, just have the exams. Like, if someone manages to pass the exam, then they obviously know the subject matter. So, like, why do they have to physically be there? Why do they have to physically do homework and shit? If they can pass the final exam, then they should be considered good to go. We became an atheist just like I became aware of man-hating feminists. Female history teacher in the middle school gave an A a girl who was mediocre answer, and a guy who gave full answer got a B minus. Oh my god, yeah, like if you end up with a misogynistic teacher, that fucking sucks. Walking Corpse, thank you for the $5. Communists took over the education system here decades ago. That's the only reason why we have so many people voting Democrat. I mean, okay, when people vote, there's like different reasons why they vote. First of all, incentive, financial. If you're on welfare, you're probably going to vote Democrat, even if you like them or not. If right-wingers say, yeah, we're going to cut welfare, we're going to lower taxes. If you're on welfare, you're not going to vote for that, right? If you're in the government, you're not going to vote for the opposite party. Like, if you're a Democrat, you're not going to vote for Republican and vice versa. Because usually, like, when the other guys come, they can start doing some firings and restructurings and shit. If you actually benefit, like if you have government contracts, you don't want the current administration to change. And so, anyway, there are cases where people actually vote because, I suppose, like legit belief. But mostly from what I can see, people actually vote who their parents vote for. And they vote for what their community vote for. It's very rare that a person does think for themselves and votes according to what they consider best. But overwhelmingly, voting seems to be similar to religion. Like, whatever your parents vote for, the kid votes for as well. The only difference is when someone gets married, one of the spouses might change their political allegiance, and certain events that can happen in your life. Like, if there are, like, certain powerful triggers, like you mentioned, where a teacher decides to interrogate a boy in the class, gives them a B minus, and then for the girl gives them an A plus. That, yeah, like, that can piss someone off so that they decide to vote differently. You're going to go to bed? I want to go to bed as well, but I gotta entertain people right now. Can't go to bed. I learned how to pass tests without having to really learn the subject myself. Myself as well. See, like, I had this thing that I said in high school. The smart kid isn't the one that studies and gets an A+. Because that's easy. The smart kid is the one that doesn't study at all and gets a C-. People thought that I was coping, but it turns out that not only was I right, I've been proven right. Most of the students that did what I said, like they wouldn't study at all and then get a C- at the test, they have really good jobs now. And the people that did study and got an A+, I know a lot of them that are unemployed. They vote like their parents do, unless their parents try to force them to do it. That's actually a really good point, yeah. I voted based off of my morals and self-interest. I mean, I suppose not everyone is the same, but the majority of people that I spoke with, when they started voting, they voted the same as their parents. Voting is often uneducated, and that's the problem. Is it though uneducated? I mean, I know people that vote left, and it's not that they're uneducated. They genuinely have like different principles than I. Like they actually enjoy leftist ideology, you know? Like, let me give you an example, because this is what baffled me. But there was like this lady that got robbed in New York City. Like some thug was forcing her to give up her purse. And there's this other guy comes up, and he's got a gun, and tells the robber to let the woman go. And the robber, in his infinite wisdom, decides to charge the gun. Gets shot and killed. And then the woman starts screaming at the guy with the gun, saying that he murdered someone, and that's horrible, right? Another example was, I think it was in Chicago. Or anyway, like oh, right. Yeah, in Chicago. There was like this lady that was there, and she made a TikTok video with a broken arm and said that she actually got carjacked. And despite all that, she still doesn't want Trump to send in the National Guard, and she doesn't want fascists there. And so you have to realize, like, there are people that genuinely enjoy the crime rate. And the question is, like, from a moral perspective, like, what do you do then? Like, if you have a city where the majority of people actually enjoy being criminalized, like, they want to be victims, and the other part of the people are the criminals themselves, which want to commit crime, do you actually have, like, a moral obligation to force them to live differently? Like, if those people, like, unironically, they want to be burglarized, like, do they not have a right to make a city where, you know, they can live as victims perpetually with their criminals? If they've been doing bad, they can study and have a chance to continue education. From an Irish point of view, most people vote through ignorance and habit. It shows that the current and past government of being the same. Those in those cities shouldn't be allowed to move out of the city. See, like, this is something that I can get behind. Like, yeah, you're right. They should have a right to behave that way, but everyone should be able to build a wall around that city to keep the insanity in. Yeah, the issue is they don't stay in their cities. No, you're absolutely right. Like, I haven't considered it as such, but yeah, you're right. So they should be able to live like that. If they genuinely want to be brutalized by criminals, and you know, the criminals obviously, like, want to commit crime. And so, morally speaking, like, I do believe in freedom of association, and if victims want to associate themselves with criminals, that's on them. But civilized people should be able to build the Hadrian Wall around those barbarians and keep them in, you know? Right. Listen, chat, I will have to end this stream a little bit earlier than I like. But tomorrow I'm going to be streaming with Amalgamite, and hopefully I will also appear on the Archcast. I'm trying to fix my sleeping schedule right now, so I'm feeling like I'm going to pass out if I keep this up a little longer, and this is why I'm ending it sooner than usual. But anyway, right, thanks for the super chats. Thanks for tuning in. What time tomorrow? I'll probably set the stream up a couple of hours in advance so people can know. Anyway, right, thank you for watching, and I'll upload my videos on the other channel, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.